Sounds good. Okay.
Are we in this?
We're live.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful room we find ourselves in. This is the first episode back of our podcast, sports podcast. For now, it's Simpson and Cage. Cage and Simpson sounds like it would be a Creole restaurant, so we're going to stay away from that.
Cage and Simpson just doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Well, Cage and Simpson does roll off the tongue, and it sounds like Cajun.
Oh, it does. You're right.
That's why I said Creole restaurant.
Cajun.
Cajun Simpson.
Cajun Simpson.
We're going to go get some jambalaya and red beans and rice.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay.
That's funny.
Alright, so...
I mean, Superbowl is in New Orleans this year.
It is.
Not Holland.
Just for this episode. We'll do
Not
that.
Holland.
Alright, anyway. So we've got some topics on the docket today. And I'm going to introduce them as we go along. And then we'll give each other some time to flesh out a little bit of an idea. And we may banter a little bit here. So if you like that, then stick around.
I'm going to tell Steven that he's out of his mind.
Facts.
That's what's going to happen. He's going to say some absolutely wild things.
You might tell me I'm saying wild things with the first question for the first topic. Okay? Alright. First topic is, did the NBA collude to get Luka to the Lakers for ratings?
Steven, we're not starting with a conspiracy theory. We're not starting with a conspiracy theory. Incompetence is a much simpler answer.
Yeah. What's the saying? Where competence is more likely explanation. What is it? Malevolence is can be dismissed. Something like that.
Yeah. I like Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the right one. Nico Harrison bit off his rocker. A bit crazy.
Okay. So
maybe
first
maybe
recap for the people just in case
Sure.
they live under a rock.
Yeah.
What happened?
If you do
over
live
the
under
last
a rock
week?
and you were not either up on Sunday morning last week or late Saturday night as I was,
maybe.
If you didn't know, Luka got traded from the Mavs to the Lakers. Right? They traded for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and one first-round pick. And if you're thinking, Alex, that can't possibly be the entire trade. Assuredly, even if they did trade Luka, they got more than the first-round pick. The answer is no, they didn't. They got Anthony Davis, they got Max Christie, and they got a first-round pick, and that's it. That's the whole trade.
Does anybody actually know who Max Christie is, though?
Laker fans know who Max Christie is.
Okay, so Laker fans do, but nobody
Mavs
else
fans
knows.
know now. Mavs fans are up at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
Mavs fans, how many of y'all are left
Mavs fans
in the world?
We're up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
How many of y'all
and after Googling where does Nico Harrison live, they probably regain their senses enough to Google Max Christie. Look, Max Christie is He's a decent 3-and-D prospect. The Lakers signed him to an extension in the summer.
Okay.
So they were willing and ready to take a chance on him. And he's gotten more playing time with them this year.
Yeah.
Max Christie is not a bad piece. Because the craziest part of this deal has actually nothing to do with what they got in return. That's really almost a subplot if you don't think they got enough, and no one does. The craziest part is that we've just never seen anything like this. He's 25 years old. He's a 5-time first-team All-NBA guy. Every single year of his career except his rookie season. And he led them to the finals. That was 8 months ago.
Last year.
That was last summer. It was July, guys. So it's never happened, and he and Nico Harrison then followed up and confirmed he gave no indication that he wanted to leave, that he wouldn't sign an extension. They just wanted out of the Luka Doncic business, which is just kind of wild to think. It's just crazy.
Yeah. First thoughts. No, you don't trade a 25-year-old superstar, megastar, probably top 3 player in the league for 32-year-old Anthony Davis. And a box of scraps.
And a box of scraps.
It's that Iron Man quote.
Yeah. Well, Nico Harrison's trying to build something with it now.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to get a little conspiracy theory-ish. I'll put like a tinfoil hat and cant it to the side here. Nico Harrison, for the past 3 years since he got hired on as the Mavs GM, has been taking some wild swings, but a lot of them have been paying off. Okay?
Sure.
So he took the Kyrie Irving swing.
Which I would have disagreed with.
A lot of people would have disagreed with. It worked out. Okay?
It certainly did.
He took the tank swing in 23.
Oh, yeah, I think a lot of people. I think everyone agreed with that. The NBA didn't like it.
No, but he took the swing.
But I got you.
And they got Derek Lively, so they got you would think they got their center for the future. So Nico has been kind of playing on razor's edge a little bit since he came to the Mavs, but it's been working out for the most part for him.
Yeah, they made the finals last year.
Now here's the deal. Nico Harrison is not, I don't think, incompetent. And based on the actions and the words that have come from his mouth over the past little while, I think this decision came from above him, personally. Now, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. Mavs ownership has recently shifted from majority owner Mark Cuban.
He sold the shares.
To new majority ownership.
The Dumonts.
What are their names? The Dumonts?
The Dumonts, I believe. Yeah, they're casino folks.
Okay. Now, Mark Cuban, when he bought the Mavs, he made himself a basketball head. He loved basketball.
He was very involved.
Right?
Extremely involved.
Very involved positively for the team, I might add. For basketball reasons.
Sure.
The Dumonts clearly know nothing about basketball.
They want nothing to do with it. They
want to make
give
money.
The reins. Yeah.
They want to make money. Now, Nico Harrison, being so far competent up until this point, if he made this decision on his own, would not speak one-on-one, in my opinion, with Rob Pelinka.
Oh, I think you would.
Without shopping this at all.
I think you would, though.
You think so?
So here's the thing. This is, to be fair, everything you said about Nico Harrison is true in terms of the moves he's made. I would have disagreed with the Kyrie at the time. I would have, the tanking I would have agreed with. It was a lost season. But even the Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington moves, which played huge dividends for him last season, I would have at the time. It's not even that I thought they were necessarily bad, but I was like, I don't know if it would have been worth what it was, but it ended up being great.
Yeah.
In hindsight, however, we now know that like Kyrie, Nico Harrison used to be a Nike rep. Kyrie was one of the guys he repped at Nike.
Yeah.
We know that Anthony Davis was a guy that he used to rep at Nike. Okay. And we know that PJ Washington and I believe Gafford were both also Nike guys. So, in hindsight, was he actually competent? Was he making smart, savvy moves? Or was he just getting his guys that he liked and had the relationship with already, and therefore, because that's the other thing that's come out this week is a lot of like Luka's team and like trainers and things like that he's had around him that used to work with the Mavs, Nico has fired and let go, like kind of systematically, it seems, almost the last 2 to 3 years since he's been there.
Got it.
And so I don't know how much I don't know how much ownership really did, because even Nico said that when he brought it to ownership, they laughed at him. The first thing they did was laugh. In hindsight with Nico, those moves went from like, oh wow, yeah, nobody thought those would work, and they did, to like, was he really just getting his own guys?
So you think we're just regressing to the mean? Nico's a buffoon, and he just was up. You know, my man was playing craps, and he was up 100,000, and then he finally lost it all.
It really looks like.
And then some.
And yeah, look, it really looks like, at least to me right now, that like Nico was just, he was just hiring his friends, and I mean, shit, It worked out.
You know,
we'll see.
I'll take that. Back to the question. Do we think that the NBA colluded for ratings? No, we don't. We don't actually think that. Now, there's going to be a lot of grifters in the comments of a lot of videos that say, "Oh, sports betting ruins sports, this and that." We are not conspiracy theorists on that line of thinking. So, no, we don't think that the NBA actually colluded for this. Though I will say, a convenient byproduct is this is going to boost their ratings, at least in the short term.
Hey, maybe. I don't know, guys. They have LeBron in LA right now.
Old man
LeBron's still the biggest draw. LeBron is still the biggest TV draw. Him and Steph showed that last year, and I bet you if we look up the Nielsen rating for the game they just played the other night, I bet you it's going to be one of the highest rated regular season games. They don't short term. Maybe long term. Sure, you keep a star in LA, but also to be fair, man, that's just apparently what happens in LA. Apparently, when you're the Lakers, you just Kareem Abdul-Jabbar doesn't want to be in Milwaukee. He wants to be a Laker, right? Yeah. When Shaq is done with Orlando, he wants to be a Laker. When Kobe leaves and you go into the absolute dumps for a half decade, it doesn't matter because LeBron's I still want to go there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Every other team, you gotta do like the Spurs, and you gotta hope David Robinson gets hurt one year so you get the Tim Duncan lottery, or you gotta go tank for 2 or 3 years so you can get the Wemby lottery, or you gotta try and do what Utah's doing and collect all these assets, and then they're hoping for Cooper Flag or the next star that wants out.
Yeah.
All these other teams gotta do all these other things and try and figure out draft it right, develop it. Get a haul of picks, something, and the Lakers just is if we just exist.
I know, right?
If we're just here,
Nico
Harrison's gonna call us up and offer us Luka Doncic.
Right, through the back channels.
It's just you're the Lakers.
Cowherd said this the other day on his podcast, and I think this rings true here. If people don't want information to get out, it doesn't get out.
Oh, okay? Well, no.
If you hear something is leaked, they wanted it to get out.
Oh, sure.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Okay? This is living proof.
Nico didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Nico called Rob, and Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and Nico Harrison, and the Dumonts were the only people that knew about this trade.
That's crazy.
And then, first off, that's also the only way that you can keep it a secret. You have to keep it that small, because if you told anybody.
Yeah. If y'all haven't seen the video, the presser that Nico and I love Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd looks like a hostage. He looks like he could have been there doing Morse code with his blinks, please, they're holding me hostage, get me out of here.
dash.
Yeah, that was crazy. He really looked like he wanted to.
And, dude, people have been talking in defense of Nico and the short term versus the long term. The short term is they were in the finals last year and they just got rid of their best player.
Yeah.
So I don't really buy. If we could shift though, I guess a little. I don't buy that this was a short term win now move.
I think
because if you want to win now, you don't get rid of a top 5 player in the league. The short term win now move would have been screw Derek Lively's development. We're gonna trade him and parts to go get Anthony Davis, right? And pair Luka, Kyrie, and Davis, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a win now, all in, forget the future move. But that's not what you did.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of like what the Knicks did. The Knicks didn't get rid of their.
Right.
Let's be real. Brunson's not Luka, but they didn't get rid of their best player. To get Cat in return.
Right. They said
Anthony Towns.
Right. They went and got Bridges.
They got rid of their worst player, Julius Randle, and got back Karl Anthony Towns
and Dante DiVincenzo. Right. They said
DiVincenzo. Yeah.
And he was good for him, but they said no. We're gonna go get Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns, and the Nova Knicks never were. But So I just.
Right.
Look, man, that trade's crazy.
We could keep going for another hour about this, but we're gonna shift to another topic
Actually,
here.
real quick, I got a question for you.
Okay. All right.
So do you think, who do you think is better positioned now? Because Mark Williams, and we'll see if the Lakers grab anybody on the buyout market or not. But given that they filled the hole at center, who do you think is better positioned right now for this season? Just for this season, Mavs.
For this season, is Luka gonna be healthy?
Hey, let's assume Luka comes back and he's healthy.
If Luka comes back and he's healthy, in the NBA, an individual can make massive difference.
Sure.
And so I think there's a chance I'm in the minority. I personally think the Lakers are. If you sent Nikola Jokic off to the Heat, for instance, I would say that, and you gave Jimmy Butler back to, instead of him going to the Warriors, he ended up going to the Nuggets.
Right? You swap that.
Team comp, we could talk about team comp, but
that's actually probably.
I would say that
accurate in terms.
I would say that the Heat are better off because I think that Nikola Jokic is that good.
Yeah.
I think Luka is that good.
Sure.
He's in my opinion, a top 3 player in the league. He basically carried the Mavs to the finals last year through a gauntlet of a Western
Clippers,
Conference.
Clippers,
went through the Clips,
OKC,
went through and then went through the Wolves,
who had just beaten the Nuggets.
Yeah, who just beat the Nuggets. Who Kevin Wild said we're not losing a 7-game series, by the way.
Just taking shots at Wild, just an absolute drive-by.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love Wild.
I'm sure he'll see this with our 5 subscribers.
Right.
Whatever the hell.
Yeah, he's gonna walking into the studio.
Wilds is in the comments. He's
a cold New York day.
He's in the comment section of their YouTube. Yeah. That's funny.
I freaking love Wilds.
Yeah. No, I don't think. So look, I don't think either one of them are title contenders. I do tend to agree with you. I was actually I was thinking you were going to say the Mavericks.
You thought I was going to go Mavs?
I did. I thought you were going to go Mavs. But no, we're correct there. I got real questions with the Mavericks fit with Anthony Davis because everyone keeps saying, oh, he gets to play the 4 now. It's he does. I don't know that that's a good thing for them.
Yeah.
When the Lakers won the title, they had obviously Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee on the team, and those guys played 20, 25 minutes a game, I think, between the two of them. Yeah. But they finished all of those games. Yeah. With almost all of them. I think with the exception of the Nuggets series, right, where you wanted that extra body to throw at Jokic, they finished almost all those games with Anthony Davis playing the 5. And the Lakers have never, they tried the next year with Marc Gasol to do the 2 big things. They have never tried it again. And it's not, guys, it didn't matter Frank Vogel, it didn't matter Darvin Ham, J.J. Redick. Every single one of them. Better with Anthony Davis at the 5. That's a better spot for him. Yeah. And so if he's going to play the 4 now when Lively comes back this year, right? So they're going to play, sure, but now PJ Washington, instead of playing power forward, bumps up to small forward. Everyone has to bump up one. Yeah. And do you want Clay guarding a lot on the perimeter now? Because that's what he's going to have to do if you bump him up.
So the only reason that Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee worked was in the Nuggets series. Sure. That's exactly what the Timberwolves did last year to beat the Nuggets, right? Is they just threw big bodies at Jokic.
They just said, Cat, Reed, Gobert. Yeah.
And then what happened in the very next series when they played the Mavs?
Oh, yeah.
They put too many bigs on the floor and they got exposed. Correct. Right? So
it's tougher
in the modern NBA, the 2 bigs thing for large percentages of the time, if your bigs cannot spread, doesn't seem to work very well.
It hurts you on offense. Yeah. And that's the other thing. In 2020, when they did that, Anthony Davis still had a good jump shot. Right. He hasn't shot that well since then. Yeah. So I'm very curious as to how much they actually let him play the 4. Yeah. And if they don't, then, the other question then becomes, you just gave up the best generator of offense. Yeah. Arguably, outside of Jokic, maybe, right? That's the only other
in the
league.
league.
And you just gave him up. Yeah. Kyrie's never been orchestrate my whole
Right.
offense, make every decision,
Yeah, exactly.
put everybody in their best position.
Right. Think Cavs before LeBron came
Right?
back.
Like you can't Cavs for
Think-
LeBron.
Think Celtics. Yeah.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
think Celtics.
Yeah.
Like,
They were better without him.
Hey,
He got
Kyrie,
hurt.
we need you to like come in here and instead of just being a bucket, like we need you to like orchestrate everything else. Like that's never.
Kyrie is really a 2 guard in a 1 guard's body.
Yeah.
Is really what Kyrie is.
And that's fine. It doesn't. And again, as a compliment, as the second player, as a pressure release valve, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Right. He's an awesome. But now, the ability to orchestrate that offense has got to fall to somebody. So look, they're trying to do. They're going to, if they want to win a title, they're going to have to do it the same way the Lakers did in 2020. Say we have great defense, and we are going to let our 2 stars and hope that they just carry us on offense.
Yeah.
Right? With all due respect, I think Kyrie's really good. I don't think he was as good as LeBron was in 2020. I don't think he's playing as well as LeBron is now, but that's another matter entirely. This, and so I got real questions whether or not that ensemble cast there, I like PJ Washington and I like Clay and they traded Grimes away, but I think they've done a good job filling out the roster, but it was almost all entirely based on the idea that you're gonna play defense or you're gonna play it and then you're gonna hit spot up shots on offense because Luka's going to have his hand on the mouse and control everything.
Right.
Luka's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Kyrie's never done that.
Yeah. Well, now, so when Luka was there, the offense was very simple. It was high pick and roll, or Luka, you generate in another fashion.
Or, operate out of the mid post.
So, is Jason Kidd like a schematical genius? And is he going to create an offense that operates off of scheme now? Because we saw what happened when Kyrie and KD were in Brooklyn, and there was no schematic offense, right?
Well, that was Steve Nash,
It was basically
right?
just pickup.
It was, and that was Steve Nash. The only button Steve Nash knew how to hit was KD, please play more.
Right,
KD,
exactly.
please play more.
Like the Warriors, one of the reasons why the dynastic Warriors worked so well is because there was a system that they could work through
and
that got people easy buckets.
And you had 2 MVPs in their prime on the same team.
Right, that also helps. But
No,
before KD was there,
even
you had one
they were
MVP
always,
in his prime, and then
No,
other
there's-
Hall of Famers. But,
the strength in numbers,
right,
absolutely.
but so like, is Kidd gonna be able to create a system now that the team can operate through because the heliocentric offensive generator is no longer there. You don't have the LeBron, the Jokic, the Luka anymore to generate offense for you and make it easier for other people. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, I don't know. I also don't know that you're going to be able to implement that
in 5 seconds.
In half a season.
Yeah. No.
And again, they're going to have spacing concerns.
All right. Let's move on. We've talked about that plenty. And we could keep going, but... So, next topic here that I have. Is Lamar Jackson... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, we can do that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Is Lamar Jackson being disrespected by not winning MVP over Josh Allen?
Is he being disrespected?
Yeah.
No. That being said, absolutely asinine. I cannot stand the at least to me, logical inconsistency of the same 50 people who voted for Lamar to be first team All-Pro to then turn around and flip the votes and have Josh be the MVP.
Yeah.
And I don't... I don't get that. I'm not a huge fan of that. If you think that the other quarterback has been more valuable, then you think that quarterback's been better. Like I guess that's the thing. Like the reason that the MVP, at least in my opinion, and the way historically it's been, recently is that it's just a QB award, and I'm perfectly okay with that because QB is the most valuable position. It's way more valuable than any running back, any receiver, anything.
Only 2 positions that touch the ball on every play: the center and the quarterback.
Yeah, and one of them matters. One of them matters. So like at that point, I also just maybe disagree. Probably is the biggest thing with the idea that Josh has been more valuable.
Okay.
But you are the Ravens fan.
I am a filthy Ravens fan
on this pod.
Yeah, I am a Lamar Jackson fan. My favorite player, my favorite quarterback. Though I am not delusional, and I guess I'll just have to prove that over time. You're gonna have to trust me for now. I'll prove it later as I. Oh yeah. Okay.
So let me deposit to you the Josh Allen argument.
Okay.
Right.
Fair play.
And I'll and then you can respond as the Ravens fan here. Look, man. Lamar's got Derrick Henry, and whatever you want to say about James Cook.
Yeah.
He ain't Derrick Henry.
1,000-yard rusher. Tied for most total touchdowns
in the league this
by
year.
a running back in the league this year. I think Jamar Chase might have eked him out there, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, Derrick Henry was at one point on pace for the rushing title. Ended up with what, 1,800
yards,
1,800 yards,
1,900 total yards.
I mean, so again, James Cook had a cool 1,000.
Yeah.
Sure, right,
Probably
and then when you look at the weapons, certainly. Even if neither team had maybe elite weapons in the past game, I think everyone would give a nod to Andrews, Likely, and Zay Flowers over
fair play. Yeah.
Keon Coleman, the ghost of Amari Cooper, Kincaid, and Knox. So
Khalil Shakir
right
came on a little bit this year.
Absolutely. So the more with less argument.
Okay.
Is the Josh Allen argument? So I deposit to you that it's fine.
Okay. I think personally, I don't think that taking All-Pro voting out of this, I don't think Lamar is being disrespected at all. Personally.
Well, damn it, Steven. That's not really the point here. Come on,
now,
defend your guy, my man. Come on.
Do I think that Lamar should have won the award? Yeah, I do. Yeah. And that's just because I think Lamar was better this year.
Sure.
I think Allen, yes, he had less. I don't know if he did more with less.
Well,
if that makes sense.
13-4 versus 12-6.
It's a team game.
I mean,
it's a team game. There's 53 people on the roster.
I mean, there are, but there's only there's 53 guys on the roster, sure. But when we're not Gunnar Olszewski ain't making no difference.
That's true.
That's a special teams player for the Patriots.
The first 6 games of the season, the Ravens had the 32nd ranked defense, passing defense in the league.
That's fair.
Okay. Now I'll submit to you you submitted to me the Josh Allen argument. I'll submit to you the Lamar argument. Okay.
Which I already agree with, by the way.
Okay, so 3 seed, not terrible. Now, if you go back in the history books and you look at quarterbacks that have won MVP, the vast majority of them are a 1 or a 2 seed, right? So, if you care about that threshold, that's also another argument for Josh Allen.
Yeah. Now, this guy being fair. It's only because he's trying to gain your trust. Don't fall for this. Don't fall for this nonsense.
So Lamar, first player ever to have 4,000 passing yards and 800 or more rushing yards as a quarterback.
I wish he had made that a cool 1,000.
I know. I was.
That would have been nice.
5,000.
That would have rolled off the tongue.
I
mean, he got to 5,000.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice if he had been 4,000 to 1,000. That would have rolled off the tongue a little nicer.
He got to the 40 total touchdown mark.
Yeah.
Right.
45, right?
Less than 5 interceptions, but because of the dual threat. Component,
count the fumbles
less than 10 total turnovers.
Yeah.
So more than 40 touchdowns, less than 10 total turnovers. Josh Allen, let's be real this year, he was kind of a rushing touchdown merchant.
Look.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is a touchdown rushing merchant.
He's the rushing touchdown merchant.
Josh at least, it's like
He'll
from the
rush it
five.
in from
It's
the
from
five,
five or somewhere.
not from the 5 inch.
Saquon
From
runs
the 5,
99 yards
right.
for Hurts to take
Right,
take it, 6 inches.
But, I mean, if you look at all of the counting stats, he had more total touchdowns, more total yards, more passing yards, more rushing yards. He had less interceptions.
Yeah.
I think they tied total turnovers lost. He had a higher QBR. He had a higher passer rating. He had a higher completion percentage. Like, every counting stat Lamar was better in than Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
And we all talked about this year about, Josh Allen, he got rid of the turnover. Lamar Jackson had less turnovers, less passing turnovers, Yeah. So he also had the highest passer rating in the league and the 4th highest passer rating of all time in the regular season.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lamar was just a better quarterback this year by a couple orders of magnitude, in my opinion.
And just about every metric.
Right. The reason I think that Josh Allen won, which I think is honestly fair, is because I think last year Lamar probably was on like the edge of whether or not he should have won it.
So
it wasn't a clear Lamar's the best, right? He kind of won it because
just general team success.
Honestly, general team success, and then honestly, like nationally televised games.
Oh well, yeah.
Josh Allen this year in nationally televised games
was
popped off. I mean, right? So that's 1. 2. Everybody kind of feels bad for him because everybody kind of feels like he gets snubbed.
I don't think the feel bad for.
Oh, he is the media darling.
Let's not play. Lamar's got plenty of defenders. Lamar has plenty of defenders.
He has a few.
He has a few now. Plenty of defenders. And plenty of pre-defenders.
After most of them hated on him for the first 5 years of his career, said that Lamar wouldn't.
5 years. Relax.
Nope.
Relax.
So he's got some defenders now. Who does he have now? He has Brew. Now he has Colin Cowherd. So he has Chris Broussard now. He has Colin Cowherd.
I mean, look, having Colin Cowherd as
who kind of waffles.
Colin Cowherd as a defender is nice, dog.
Who else?
Arguably the biggest.
Who else though? Shannon Sharp consistently is on the sort of pessimistic end. Stephen A. Smith last year when he got paid 2 years ago when Lamar got paid, what was ESPN's topic for a month?
Ravens fan. I'm bringing up an argument from 2 years ago.
Is Lamar
Look at this guy.
worth the money?
2 years ago. Dude's mad about a headline 2 years ago. He's mad about a first take segment from 2 years ago.
Anyway. So no, I don't think Lamar is being disrespected. I think he should have won. Also, if we're talking about historically, you have to weigh the no quarterback who has ever been selected first team All Pro did not win the MVP. There have been other positions I think that it happened to in 2012.
Right. Yeah.
Was that the Adrian Peterson MVP?
Sure, yeah. Breeze, no, that was he 20? I thought he was earlier, but
that was 2008.
Breeze. Breeze.
But the historical precedent is
that
if you're first team All Pro, that means you're the best quarterback in the league.
It's the same people voting for it, which is what irritates me.
Right. So what we did this year is we did the switcheroo where we said
we did like half.
Emmanuel Acho said this, where they said, first team All Pro is who's better, and MVP is value now. Yeah. It's never been about value in the past. It's always been about who's the best guy.
It's always been about value. That's why it's always a quarterback. We just never sat here and said quarterback was less valuable than someone that we would make the argument was a worse quarterback. Yeah, I mean, look, man, he was 5,000 yards. He was 45 touchdowns. He had 8 total turnovers.
That sounds like an MVP to me.
Because I think every other year in the league, it would have been an MVP.
Now, here's the deal. As a filthy Ravens fan, as a Lamar fan, I'm kind of glad he didn't win it because it's just another chip. You know what I'm saying? It's another chip on the shoulder. And Lamar, he's always been clear. He doesn't care as much about the individual accolades.
Yeah, he's got 2 trophies already. He gives a damn.
So as Ravens fans, we want that Lombardi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might have to wait a minute.
We want that Lombardi.
I don't think Mahomes is done quite yet.
I don't think Mahomes is done either, but, we'll see.
Yeah, it may not matter.
We'll see. So, should he have won it? Probably. Did he win it?
Yeah, he should have. He should have won it because you can't.
Am I mad he didn't win it? Not really.
You're happy he didn't win it. You got a chip on his shoulder.
At least now Josh Allen can say his biggest.
Well, at least Josh actually has a pelt on the wall, so to speak.
Right.
Now, instead of just theoretically.
Yeah, because up until now, all of his theoretical accolades were he lost to Mahomes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. All of his accolades were theoretical up until this very moment.
Now he's got one. Okay. Moving on to the next topic. Will the Chiefs make history this weekend and be the first team ever to three-peat?
So y'all may not know. I'm a Patriot fan.
Yeah. Filthy Patriot.
Patriot.
He's wearing Patriot socks right now.
I am, in fact, wearing Patriot socks. They were a Christmas gift. They also have superheroes on them. Because if you can't tell, this is my room, by the way. This is my office. My room, what am I, 5? This is my room, guys.
Yeah, my room.
This is my office. This is my office.
My bunk bed's right behind you.
And, so bunch of Marvel stuff, bunch of superhero stuff. I'm a massive fan.
So he's a Pats fan.
So I'm a Pats fan. So I've been on the side of the evil empire. I've rooted for the evil empire for my entire life, and then they were overthrown. Well, really and truly, they self-destructed.
Yes.
By their own accord, hubris. So let me tell you, as someone who's been on the other side of this, you guys are screwed. You're screwed. You're all screwed. They're gonna win on Sunday. They're gonna win. They are inevitable. And it does pain me a little bit. Pains me just a bit because the Patriots didn't three-peat. They did go to 3 straight Super Bowls. Unfortunately, they lost to the Eagles in the middle.
Yep.
They won and then they lost. Damn Nick Foles.
Yep. Same Nick.
Damn Nick Foles. And then and then they won again. Beat up Sean McVay. But guys, they're gonna win. They're inevitable. You can go up and down the roster, and you can tell me that the Eagles have a better roster. I believe you. Because at least to a certain extent, I think
minus the quarterback, which is the most valuable position.
Yeah, I think maybe we're undercounting. What's the word that I'm actually looking for? Underestimating how good the Chiefs roster actually is. Trent McDuffie's a dog. That offensive line, Joe Tooney is really good, and they've kicked him out to left tackle to solve that problem. Creed Humphreys is one of the best linemen in the league, and Trey Smith has had a really good year. Like they are a solid offensive line as well. And defensively, obviously, Chris Jones is there. Like I think we might be underselling them, but the Eagles are stacked. You got Mitchell, DeJean, Brown, Smith, Barkley. That entire offensive line is arguably the best in the league outside of maybe Detroit.
Top 3 for sure.
Right? They got a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in that Bond linebacker, right? Who they picked up from nothing. Yep. And then you got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
Yep.
They're stacked. They're crazy good.
Yeah. Personnel wise, they're stacked.
And the Chiefs are gonna win.
Best roster in the league. The Eagles have,
and the Chiefs are gonna win. I don't know how they're gonna win. I don't know if they're gonna put up 35.
Okay.
But I can tell you whatever it is that needs to be done, they'll do it.
They might the refs.
They might block a kick. Okay, that part right there, I gotta tell you, as a Patriots fan, it brings me joy to finally see another team just be hated. Just universally hated, and for everyone to just be, it's the refs. The refs are helping them. The refs are helping them. I had to live that for 15 years growing up here in not New England, but a Patriot fan.
Okay, so I gotta ask you, filthy Patriots fan.
Yeah.
An evil Empire Patriots fan.
Yes.
What do the Chiefs have that the Patriots did not have?
They don't have the best defensive mind ever as their head coach, but he might be the best offensive guy, at least since Bill Walsh.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
I think what the Chiefs have that the Patriots didn't have is the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen play the position.
Well, that's not fair or true because
I think that's
Mahomes wasn't a thing when the Patriots were going on their rampage. So up until that point of time, they did have the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen.
No, but I think what I'm saying is I think Mahomes is better than Brady.
Now, already.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to say
I don't think like all time.
Sure.
I'm not saying like
but you think his peak here has been higher than Brady's?
I think he plays football better than Brady did.
Yeah. That's debatable. It's fair. I refuse to do to Mahomes. Maybe I should. It would be better for the pod. But I refuse to do to Mahomes what I have watched boomers do for years on national television to LeBron, and just say every single time that Mahomes does anything, but Brady did it better. But Brady did this. But Brady did that. Michael did this. Michael did that. I love Mahomes. He's amazing. And when they win, on Sunday, he's gonna be able to say that he three-peated.
Yeah.
And
nobody else will be able to say that.
And nobody else will be able to say that.
Yeah.
It's never been done. But I would like to see. So the year after they traded Tyreek, 3 years ago, and they won the Super Bowl, and Mahomes got MVP. They were the best offense in football that year.
Yeah.
Since then, they've been anything but the best offense in football.
Yeah.
They have not been terrible or bad, but they certainly haven't been great. They've been fine. They've been good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a few more years of them looking like one of the best passing attacks in football without needing to go get great outside receiver help.
Yeah. Randy Moss.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
For 1 year. And because that is personally why I actually think so. Brady's the GOAT, just to be off topic here for a second.
Agreed.
He,
from a Brady hater,
I believe that he offensively in the passing game did more with less than any other quarterback that you would make the argument for. So you have, Mahomes always had Reed, and first, half decade in the league had Tyreek and Kelsey. Manning had Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, then he got Demaryius Thomas, who was coming off a 1,000-yard season when Tim Tebow was his quarterback, right? Rodgers always had some combination of Adams, Jordy Nelson, Donald Driver, or Greg Jennings at one point or another in his career. Brady got 1 year of Moss, got 1 year of Brandon Cooks, got a couple years, 3 years here at the end with like Evans and Godwin. The rest of the time, it was a bunch of slot receivers and then Gronk. And Gronk's obviously amazing, but you don't...
The greatest tight end of all time, amazing.
You don't... Yeah, but how good were the Tony Gonzalez, Trent Green? Like, you don't run dynamic, awesome passing offenses through the tight end unless it's Brady or Mahomes with Kelsey. But again, I will differ to say that probably actually has more to do with the quarterback than it does the tight end, just in general. So,
I mean, there's a split there.
But nonetheless, to get back on track to the Super Bowl, I think the Chiefs win because I think they're Thanos, man. I think they're inevitable.
Yeah, they're really good. They only lost one game in the regular season where all their starters played. They lost to Josh Allen and the Bills.
They came back and whooped them.
Came back and beat them.
Whooped is probably too strong.
Yeah, it was tied going into the last couple minutes of the
Okay,
game.
yeah, but it was.
Chill.
But did you, it's a close game. Who are you going to take? Every time.
That's true, yeah. I'm going to take the Chiefs in that game. And I took the Chiefs in that game before it happened. Yeah.
Okay. And then...
Now, here's the deal. I think this is going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to be a close game, and because the Chiefs are Thanos, they're going to win. Or the Eagles are going to be the spoiler of Thanos or the Evil Empire or whatever you call it, and the Eagles are going to shred. It's one of the two.
No.
I think
there's no chance.
I think the
highly of that happens.
I think that the highly likely.
When's the last time the Chiefs got blown out?
I'm not saying they're going to get blown out, but is 10 points a blowout in the Super Bowl?
No.
Is losing time of possession by say 10 minutes?
Time of possession. So when you say shred, do you think they're gonna lead? They're gonna get in the lead and never give it up?
It depends on who gets the ball first. So if the Eagles get the ball first,
well, I mean,
and they start to lean on you, I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
I cannot envision any scenario, where we are sitting here Sunday night and we're looking back at that game and we're like...
Did you envision a scenario where the Nick Foles Eagles beat the Patriots?
No. But they didn't... Okay, but
they had one of the...
Okay.
They had one of the best offensive games in the Super Bowl all time against Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but it wasn't a dominating performance. The Patriots, Brady broke the passing yard record. He did. You didn't walk away from that game thinking, oh, the Eagles just shredded the Patriots team. You were like, how the hell did they
shredded the defense?
Yeah, they did.
So I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout.
Okay.
I'm saying either it's going to be a super close game, and because the Chiefs are Thanos, they win. Or the Eagles are going to do something historic and then win the game by a little more than we think. Those are the two scenarios I think happens.
I cannot imagine the last scenario. I can't.
I think the Chiefs probably win.
Yeah, this is no fun.
I'm leaning.
We gotta disagree at some point. This is no fun.
Now, what I would love to see is Saquon go off for 200 yards against the Chiefs like he's done against so many good teams this year. That would be fantastic. However, Jalen Hurts is not that good.
Oh, wow. Wow, burying the lead, my guy. I think you should have started with that.
And if the Chiefs win, I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a hand in it.
Yeah?
I really do. Now, anytime the Eagles have given up a lot of yards and a lot of points this year, it's been to teams with a good quarterback-coach combo.
Oh, it's a good thing the Chiefs don't have that.
And so I do think that the Eagles are going to give up a lot of yards and potentially a lot of points. I don't think this is going to be low-scoring, even though both of these teams have good to great defenses.
I mean, the defense in Phil. I mean, they're the best defense in football. They're also coached by Vic Fangio.
Don't bring this crap up. Bring this crap up. Say it. What? No, go ahead, say it, because I know what you're going to say.
He's faced Patrick Mahomes 8 times as either head coach or defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
His defenses have given up 20 or more points to the Chiefs' offense. All but twice.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Do we want to give any context as to what the team that he coached was?
It was Denver.
Denver? What kind of personnel did he have? Remind me. How many people?
I'm pretty sure he still had DeMarcus Ware to start that run, actually.
Okay, so
I'm just look.
Guy.
It was Hey, he's a defensive coach.
Yeah, let's.
Elevate your side of the ball, my guy. I'm not. Look, I don't care that he is 0-8 against Mahomes. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because he's not the head coach here, right? He's just the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I do care that he's managed to scheme up a sack and a half a game and not hold him under 20 like that, because I don't think that if this turns into a shootout that they have the horses on offense Well, I shouldn't say the horses.
They got a horse
No,
on
I'm
the
sorry.
offense.
Actually, they have plenty of horses on the offense.
Uh-huh.
It's the jockey I'm worried about.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? I don't trust
Yeah.
that Jalen Hurts is going to, replicate the
Yeah.
Super Bowl he had 2 years ago.
Fair.
If this turns into we've got to go bomb for bomb. We've got to go throw for throw with Mahomes. Not that there's anyone that I would bet to beat Mahomes in that, but there's at least a few guys that I would be like, they have a chance.
Yeah.
Lamar's got a chance. Josh Allen's got a chance. Burrow's got a chance. Unfortunately for the rest of the league, all those guys are in the NFC. So or AFC, excuse me.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a bit of a problem. It's going to be great for the NFC quarterbacks to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's going to be a real shame once they get there and they realize that it's either Mahomes or probably one of those guys having had beat Mahomes that year.
Yeah.
So that's tough. But nonetheless, they're inevitable. Whatever needs to be done, they'll figure out a way to do it. And if they got to do something stupid on special teams and block a kick or return a punt.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs this is underrated and under talked about. I think the Chiefs have the best special teams in the league.
Yeah.
And every time it matters, they prove it. When they were about to lose to the Broncos, they proved it. When they were playing the Texans and all of the counting stats on offense, time of possession, yards per play were in favor of the Texans, the reason that the Chiefs won is not the refs, is special teams, right? Yeah. Because Kaimi Fairbairn, who everybody was saying he was having this lights out year, missed a couple kicks.
55.
Yep.
No.
They gave up a massive kick return and set up great field position.
Yeah, short field.
And so, special teams is the big reason why they beat the Texans. I mean, special teams is a big reason why they beat the Bills, because our boy who just came off injured reserve off of, I forget what he had surgery for, but Harrison Butker came out and was lights out.
I thought he had a groin issue. I thought it was just, but yeah.
But I mean, he was lights out in that game against the Bills.
Yeah.
Gave him the go-ahead kick to end up winning the game.
Earlier this week, he's like one kick away, like one clutch game winner in the playoffs away from tying Adams and Terry for game winners.
Dude, Harrison Butker is straight up right now probably the best kicker in the league.
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah. So special teams, I think Chiefs got the best in the league. Now, to make this interesting, so that next time you hear from us, we have a little bit of dynamic here. I'm gonna pick the Eagles.
Well, you ain't got. If you think the Chiefs are gonna win, you think the Chiefs are gonna win.
I'm gonna pick the Eagles.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Pick the Chiefs.
I'm not picking the Chiefs.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
I think the Eagles are going to be the spoiler of another potential.
The Patriot fan in me would love it, but also the Patriot fan in me is recognizing this far too often, where it's like, what's this BS that they pulled out of their behind to win this game? Yeah, guys, that's what they do. They don't, they get to have the 15th ranked offense by yards or whatever it was this year, and just be better.
Okay, cool. All right, last topic of the day. Alex is going to love this one.
What is this even? What's the last topic?
Does Eli Manning deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
So Eli Manning did not make it in on his first try.
Nope.
And
first eligible year.
Yeah.
He made it to the final ballot, right?
Yeah.
He did not make it.
Only 19 more years of attempting to deny this man the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And then I'll rest in peace.
Yeah,
no, he doesn't. It's very good that he didn't get in. The fact that he was already on the final ballot means that he almost assuredly will, which is just a shame.
Yep.
So, I just told y'all that I'm a Patriot fan. So you might be like, Alex, you just hate the fact that he ruined two of your team's best seasons ever.
Yep.
And the answer is, I do hate the fact that the Patriots lost to the Giants. What I resent more is this idea that he ruined the seasons. He didn't. Eli Manning did not ruin those seasons. The first one is the only one that I'm truly irritated about. Michael Strahan and the rest of them boys up front ruined the Patriots' season. That was the best offense in football. It's the best offense in football. And they absolutely, positively destroyed it.
Yep.
My issue with the Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame case is it's not based on anything that he did. It's not based in any individual achievement or accolade. And whilst I understand that the quarterback gets the vast majority of the credit, this is an individual award. This is an individual accolade. And the Hall of Fame is supposed to be the best players of their generation. And I can list 3 guys right off the top of my head: Brady and his brother Manning and Breeze, that were better. And then Rodgers was better. And at this point, we are now down to 5 and then 6 with Roethlisberger and Rivers and then Manning. And everyone agrees Roethlisberger's better. So now he's 6th in his own era. There were 6. There were maybe 7, depending on how you feel about Rivers. There were maybe 8, depending on how you feel about Stafford. There were maybe 9, depending on how you feel about Matt Ryan, who actually did win an MVP, who actually did have an individual achievement or accolade to his name. We can't sit here and say that there are 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 Hall of Famers all in the league, all in their primes, all at the same time. That's absurd.
Yeah.
It's an absurd argument to make. The only thing he ever led the league in was turnovers. That's the only thing he ever led the league in. He's never been an All-Pro. He never got an MVP vote. There is no reason to give this man this award. And the thing that irritates me about it is anytime you ask anybody about it, what do they say? Well, you can't tell the history of the game without Eli. Well, you know, he beat the Patriots. He beat them twice. And the answer is, my guy, that's not an argument that we would make for anybody else. No one ever just makes the argument. You know what? Alex, you're wrong. Eli Manning, for a half decade, a decade, 6 years, 3 years, was one of the 4 or 5 best quarterbacks in football. No one ever just makes the argument he was actually great, because everybody knows he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was fine. So I'm very happy he's not in the Hall.
Yeah.
And I don't think he should be there, and I don't think he should get in. I think he's going to get in because his last name is Manning, and he did it in New York, and the history, and the blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Someone make the case that he was a great football player. That he was just an individually great quarterback. No one ever makes that case for Eli because everyone knows it's not true.
Yep. I mean, the only argument for him being in the Hall is you can't tell the story of the game without him. And that's only because of who he beat in a Super Bowl.
Which is also the other irritating part.
If he would have beat a couple non-dynastic teams, we probably wouldn't be having the conversation at all, right?
His last name was Rivers. His last name was Rivers. We wouldn't be having this conversation. We are only making the other arguments because his last name is Manning.
Right.
Like, that's all of those other arguments only stem from the fact that his last name is Manning.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that he's like the Ronald Weasley of his own story, like he's not the main character.
Okay, that's tragic.
He's not the main character.
Yeah, that is mad tragic.
In his own story. You're right, because it's about Brady. It's about Belichick. It's about the other team. It's not about him.
Yeah. Let me start and finish this argument with one sentence. Eli Manning in his career, his record is 117 and 117. He is not a Hall of Fame quarterback. End of discussion.
Mid.
He is the definition of mid.
Yes, he was fine. He was a fine
the
quarterback.
The definition.
I will settle for the fact that he was a good quarterback, not an above average.
He can go in the Hall of really good players. If you
he
really
belongs in the
he's in the Hall
Ring of Honor. A Ring of Honor in New York.
He's in the Hall of Mid.
Stick him up there.
Yeah.
I think they might have already said
He meant a lot to the team, right?
a ton to the team,
Right?
a ton to the city.
Yeah. He's not one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
It's just,
Sorry.
He's
Right.
not, and no one makes that argument. That's the thing. That's the thing, guys. No one ever makes the argument that
Yeah.
he actually is one of the best players ever. Because everyone knows that he wasn't. But we just... Also, like, history can't tell the story. You can't tell the story without Malcolm Butler. In
That's
fact, actually,
true.
I could argue there are 2 Super Bowls you can't tell the story of without Malcolm Butler. Because he was the best corner on the Patriots, and they benched him during the Eagles game. During a game in which they got lit up by a backup quarterback, their best corner was on the bench, and nobody knew why. Tell the story of Malcolm Butler. Let's stick him in the hall. Not a damn chance.
Yeah. All right, everybody. First pod of 2025 for this unnamed podcast, or transitionary named podcast. Next week, we're going to come at you with some more heavy hitters. One of them, should Devin Hester be in the Hall of Fame?
He is.
No, I'm totally kidding. I know he is, but should he be?
Yes!
You can't tell this. No.
Steven!
Devin Hester wasn't even good enough to play a
real position?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because he was just the best specialist ever.
Yeah. How many touchdowns did he have total?
All of them.
In his
He
whole
broke the
career?
record.
No.
How about this?
how many
Devin, you know why
total
Devin Hester
touchdowns?
belongs in the Hall of Fame?
Why?
Because he, as a special teamer, was the most dynamic weapon of a Super Bowl team. You ever seen a team led to the Super Bowl by their special teams?
That is
The Bears.
That's wild.
The Bears. The most dangerous thing you could do to the Bears was kick it to him. Was kick it to him. You understand? You didn't even...
How bad is that team?
You didn't even care if the offense got on the field. You didn't even care. You were like, oh, we survived the punt return.
Oh, he might.
Oh, sweet. We were survived the kick return.
Wow.
Who cares? It's the offense. It's like,
He
good.
scored like 2 touchdowns a year.
No,
That's
stop.
crazy, bro.
You're ridiculous.
Devin Hester should not be a Hall of Famer. That's
You're
wild.
ridiculous. So no specialist should be a Hall of Famer.
I don't know.
All right,
I don't know. Yeah, if we're talking about